presents the Tubcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tubcast. That's right, 100% brought to you by Cox Communications, Time Warner Cable, and Comcast.
Yay!
We partnered with them right now. We decided we'd get on there quick with this net neutrality thing coming through.
It's going to cost you $10.
The train's coming down.
To get the Tubcast.
if you're one of those subscribers to those cable services, you get the Tubcast. It's fine. You don't have to worry about it because we partnered with them.
We partnered.
But they have to pay more.
Great. Yeah, they're gonna have to pay a little more on their bill, but don't worry about it because you're getting the Tubcast. It's fine. Also, if you could, bump up our Patreon money, that would help us to pay for the bandwidth. The studio. So here we are. Welcome to the Tubcast. We're excited to be here again. We got Cox and Comcast and all our friends here. Yeah. Also, if you've ever wanted to see Hugh Jackman and Robert Downey Jr. make out, that's also going to be a reality too. So
it is.
We'll get there later.
Okay. Something to look forward to.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
That's what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah.
That's
all kinds of stuff.
I want to get people hooked right away as they jump in here, and I should mute my phone and stop being a big old jerk who doesn't mute his phone. As always, my name is Eric. I'm joined by Kyle.
Hey.
I'm joined by Jeremy.
It's me.
And Pale Nathan.
You got my hopes up with that making out comment.
Oh, well, we'll get there.
Nathan, are you okay?
I bet I got more than that up. All right,
why
so
is Nathan pale?
Because he's not tan.
There is so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was tan last night.
Right. Tan Nate. Sorry.
So keep up, Kyle. Keep up.
That's okay. I was lost.
You suck.
Sorry, guys. That's my bad.
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's good to be here. It's good to be back in the studio. It's nice and studio-y still. We were here last evening. Big shout out to our friend Soccer Tetris who joined us. Go follow him still if you did not. He's a smart dude who says a lot of big words very confidently, which we were too intimidated to argue with him because we could be wrong, potentially.
I nodded.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think he was right, though.
I'm just saying, like we talked about last night, you say anything confidently.
That is true. He did say that.
People believe you.
If you say it confidently enough.
Hashtag God Soup, get it trending.
God Soup.
All right, so what is everybody been up to?
Eating string cheese.
Kuiper's mom, I gotta say, Kuiper's mom, if you're watching,
brought us a gift.
Yes. You're a lovely lady, and we all appreciate this homemade caramel that you made.
Goes a long ways towards keeping him as our intern.
I'm just saying, he's got a bright future of unpaid internship at Minitub Inc. And we really, really appreciate these caramels. They're delightful.
Interesting little tidbit here. Do you know why these little Chinese to-go boxes are shaped the way they are?
So you can take them apart and put the food down on like a plate and microwave it.
I hate you.
I ruined your fun.
But yes.
But if you do that, make sure you take the little metal handle out.
Well, of course.
Why?
Sparks.
Kyle, what happens?
Diarrhea it and then tell us.
Nathan shows up late because things are burning down.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that was your neighbors, not you.
Welcome to the chat, everybody who's joining us tonight. Mutiny Teddy, I see you in there. I see Irrelevant Native. It's good to see you back. He says, hashtag old man facts. Hey, that's not that old of a fact, but maybe it is.
He also says his big words compete with a big nose. Are you talking about me? Because I take offense to my big nose being made fun of.
I think he's talking about Soccer Tetris.
Well, that's just mean.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think he had a big nose.
I think I've got a bigger nose.
I think he had a well-proportioned face.
Yeah. Jeremy, ooh.
Oh,
you got
tell us more,
feelings
Jeremy.
going on
Didn't say I
inside
liked well proportions.
Oh, you like bad proportions. You like large proportions. Oh, wait, that's portions. Portion sizes. Portion control. It's
portions of caramel.
I can't
all
get
the
enough.
portions of caramel.
He was talking about Nathan's nose. Nathan doesn't have that big of a nose.
Nose box.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Oh, Nathan's just like, I'll take it. He's not in the box anymore, Nathan.
Yeah.
You can't say mean things.
Not
That's true. I'm not in the box.
Kuiper's is in the kind of box.
Kuipers, say hi to the people at home from your not real box.
Hi to the people at home.
But kind of box. Back in the box, Kuipers.
okay.
Back in the box.
It's a puppet of a box that wants to be a real box someday. Pinocchio box.
But is he alive in the box when it's not on?
There's a 50-50 chance, so we have to assume both.
Now, if it's a Poke box, do we have to catch them all?
Is this
That's just-
Schrodinger's box?
That's just
Yeah.
Yeah, Schrodinger's box.
If there is a Kuiper in the box,
Wait, does that make me a cat?
if there's no
I'm
back in the
allergic
box,
to myself.
Kuipers.
Again, we don't know if you're a cat or
Did
not.
you just say I'm allergic to myself?
Yeah, but I'm allergic to cats.
And then if you open the box, all the evils of the world come out.
Yes. That's where all the evils are.
Yeah. Well, don't. It's bad to be allergic to yourself. You sneeze a lot.
Message for all of you at home: don't be allergic to yourself.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be bad if you did like the weird acupuncture thing where it's probably not actually acupuncture, but they stick the needles of the stuff in your back, and then like one of those was just you, and they're like, you swole up real bad around this needle of yourself. I think you might be allergic.
Just a needle of you.
We just dunked it in you, and then we stuck it in you in another spot to see if you're allergic to you. That doesn't make any sense for the record.
No, it doesn't.
You can't be allergic to what you are, I don't think. But I think some people are. Like mentally, they have like chemical amounts. They're a little bit allergic to themselves.
Well, I mean, an allergy is just your immune system overreacting. So I guess it would just have to be constantly overreacting.
I mean, technically, if you had like an organ that was failing or whatnot, that's kind of allergic to you, right? Maybe.
I suppose.
Potentially. Not in all cases, but in some, maybe.
Speaking of organs failing, did anybody see this news that broke later tonight? I think it was Dr. Disrespect. You all remember him? Anybody?
Oh, yeah, the
Jeremy?
streamer.
Jeremy, do you remember
I'm
Dr.
aware.
Disrespect?
Oh, yes.
I'm aware of Big Mustache Man
Okay.
who won the awards
Okay,
last
see, look
week.
at Jeremy.
Yeah.
Good job. Anyways, he was on. He did a stream that was like, I don't know, it was only a few minutes long tonight, where he said he's taking a break, and he was not in persona. He's not in his character. He had he still had his mustache, but he didn't have his wig. He just had a baseball cap on.
Huh.
And it was a very awkward few minutes.
So you think it's because he won whatever it was he won, most animated
Or no, he just won.
Twitch?
He didn't win that. He
Personality
won
or
most
something?
influential
That's what
gamer
it
or
was,
something like
yeah.
that. Or gaming personality or something. No, he was pretty much saying, apologizing for the fact that he had an affair on his with someone, so he was apologizing to his wife and his kid, I guess, and said he's taking a break. So Dr. Disrespect is off the air for a while.
Check out VISS if you like some PUBG.
Or check out
Men in a
Tub.
Tub.
That would be even better.
Well, yeah, but we're not.
Come on.
We're not actively playing PUBG. I was saying
he actively shills for us until the moment where we try to activally shill, and then he wants to shill for someone else.
I'm just impressed.
I
Actually,
couldn't chill for us playing PUBG. We don't Twitch it.
I want to unpack this a little bit, Jeremy.
Okay.
You've been actually watching some Twitch then. You've
Yeah.
been,
Yeah.
I mean, you avidly admitted to not ever watching Twitch before, so that's why I'm kind of surprised. I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know.
like gaming Twitch. I enjoy.
Like you're talking about but you're talking about watching PUBG or something.
Oh
like that.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So who did you say?
Not
you were?
like talk show people. I don't watch people like me. That's just weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's,
okay.
Yeah.
It's VISS. That's what he goes by.
So you're more into the bro field, the bro
What?
zone. I was just asking.
Why? What do you mean?
Gonna take you riding.
Do you-
Because you were
Have you
saying
watched
you were
it or-
insulting.
Bro zone.
You were insulting me watching intellectual gaming commentary and trying to say
Sure.
say that your brand of entertainment on Twitch is much superior to that.
No, I didn't say that at all.
That's kind of the way it sounded. I'm just gonna say.
I think
little
that's
bit.
what he said.
I mean, I felt hurt. I felt hurt inside.
Okay.
I'm really just
I
waiting
just
for an apology.
often don't care what other people have to say.
We know.
We all know this.
So why would
I've
I?
never
That's-
noticed
but
that
I
before.
think that's
about
kind
you.
of a character
I can enjoy
flaw.
watching someone else who's talented at something.
Mutiny
but
Teddy
speaking,
says
meh.
Jeremy is basically saying he wouldn't watch this show.
Yeah, we know that. That's not a surprise.
He
would just
doesn't watch it being on it.
What was that?
Oh, you're getting called a hipster again in the chat.
Oh man,
Poor Jeremy.
that's been a while since you've been called a hipster.
Blind by
He
the
was
chat.
always an emo before.
Oh, that's right. It was
I think
emo.
I've
You were the
moved up.
hipster.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
I'd rather be an emo than a hipster.
Really?
Why? Because
Aren't,
then you're just sad about everything.
aren't I too old for either?
No, you're never too old.
You're never too old.
There's no age limit.
No, there's not.
All are welcome.
So, what's anybody seen Star Wars yet?
I'm sure someone has.
No?
It's not me.
Good.
Nope.
Great. Anybody do anything else?
Has
Watch the
anyone
Netflix
texted
series?
Trevor any spoilers?
No.
Because he should be watching it right now, right?
I don't know.
Or going to watch it.
Trevor!
Who cares?
Has anybody been doing anything else?
I'm trying to think.
I saw a new trailer today.
Ooh.
Was it like from a semi or like
A
like
movie
moving truck?
trailer.
Oh, what is it for?
Okay.
It was for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I saw that the other day.
It's
Animated, isn't it?
It's animated, and it's a teaser trailer, so they didn't give you very much. But what I saw looked friggin' awesome. A lot of really good action. I don't know if you can call it cinematography when it's animated, but a lot of really good.
Cinematic.
Yeah,
I'll give it to him.
Really good animation.
Art direction.
yeah,
Yeah,
And-
there you go.
and it features. Oh gosh, why can't I remember his name right now?
Miles Morales.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, it features Miles Morales, but I was trying to think of the actor.
Oh, I don't know who was supposed to be playing him.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, I think it's Donald Glover.
Is it really?
Okay.
Yeah.
He was in the
At least
other
that's what it
cartoon.
was announced a couple of years ago.
Huh.
And it's going to be one of those. It's going to be that story where Spider-Man meets other Spider-Men from other universes.
Ah. Teddy would like to say that we guys talk about trailers a lot. Is that a new subgenre?
Not really. We've talked about trailers as far back as this iteration of the Tubcast has gone.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, Donald Glover is Childish Gambino. That's
Update.
correct.
It is not him that is playing Miles Morales.
Oh.
But isn't he stopping his rap career? I thought he was
He said he was going to.
Yeah, he said he was
pausing
gonna
it.
done.
at least, or-
Yeah, he won a Grammy, so now he's just like whatever.
something about he had
Or he's
experienced
nominated for one.
enough or done enough with it.
He had done what he aimed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it was like he was, or also it sounded like to me at least he was retiring Childish Gambino.
And maybe
He
doing
could
something
still be
under
as
his
Donald
own
Glover.
name. Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering if maybe he'll go under Donald Glover and release.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come
Be
on
fun.
back, Don Glover. At Don Glover. Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean Don Glover. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's how it was spelled.
I want to see.
Yeah, what's wrong with us watching trailers, Teddy? I mean, trailers get us excited for the movies that we don't see for a long time.
I'm not allowed to have fun watching things.
At least we don't stop the show altogether and watch the trailer like we used to.
Wait, let's do it. Let's watch it. Let's watch.
We used
this
to do that a
Spider-Man
lot.
one.
Where we'd kind of talk over it a little bit, but not much.
This show has changed dramatically.
No.
Yeah.
no.
I mean, remember when it used to be like the weird panels behind us that were
The brick.
just brick?
Yeah.
Now it's just the weird
Now it's
panels behind
just
us
the
that are
weird-
brick.
Remember when
No,
we
but
had,
they were different bricks. They were different bricks.
Remember when we had Trevor keep track of everybody's tub bucks by hand?
Yes. We used to have to keep track of tub bucks by
Remember-
hand.
We couldn't do that now.
I mean, you say by
Remember
hand, but we
when-
gave him a. Well, I just thought the word just left my. What's the thing?
Spreadsheet?
No,
a
it's-
ledger book.
No, the thing with the beads that go. An
abacus?
Abacus. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I started to say an ibodkiss, and I was like, that's not accurate in my brain.
Remember when we had a table with a black cloth on it?
Remember?
I knew
Yeah.
you were going to go there.
It was like we were like at a conference. Or
we had some
something.
sweet colored lights too on the front of it. It was
Oh,
fancy.
boy.
Remember when we had long beards? Oh, that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, you cut
copied
yours
me.
too.
I cut mine 2 weeks ago.
I didn't even notice till today. You-
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I think I might have done it before
Go
you
back
did.
to the footage.
I don't want.
Roll that beautiful beard footage.
Anyways, it's been well, but I think we should jump into some news.
It's time for the only news stories worth talking about.
Yahoo! Oh yeah, we forgot to talk a little bit about the net neutrality thing. I think I kind of hinted at it in the beginning.
Yeah.
We don't really have a story about it, but yeah, we'll just kind of mention it.
Let's chat. It is news. Make up a headline.
So yeah, if you, I mean,
read back your tweet, and then I'll tell the story.
Can I read mine?
That's embarrassing to read my tweet. Yeah, okay, hold on. Where's my Twitter handle? That's my Twitter handle. I tweeted out this afternoon around 9 hours ago. I said, wonderful expressionless face emoji. Congress is filled with Mormons. Hashtag darkest timeline. Tweeting a link to the Verge's story about net neutrality.
Right. Net neutrality has been repealed.
Can I read mine?
Sure. Read them.
More regulation is technically less freedom. Hashtag net neutrality.
More regulation. And by what do you mean by that? You're saying so we have more freedom now because it got repealed?
Technically, yeah.
Who has more freedom?
Big business.
Big business
businesses are included in. Yeah.
People are businesses.
Yeah. How do businesses make money?
They monopolize the industries and they lobby Congress and they ruin our lives.
There's a big kind of misnomer that people don't understand about net neutrality, and it's really attempting to put a Band-Aid on something that government already broke, which was municipalities own the land where the majority of the fiber is ran, and so then they create localized monopolies with certain companies in order to put their fiber in there, and then they make it cost inefficient or unallowed based on making a ordinance or even state laws in some cases to not allow competition. So the whole reason we have these monopolies is because of government. So adding more government to fix a problem that government created is really counterintuitive.
Okay.
So that's my take.
So the fact that the governing...
I think you have way too much faith in the government, Jeremy.
There's also a difference in the two departments between the FCC and the...
the FCC is a joke.
Why?
Because it is.
They don't let Kyle say bad words on primetime, okay?
I mean, what's it matter? Like, honestly, like, what is the difference? So you're
against more government is what you're saying. Because you don't like...
But see, here's where your logic is flawed to me. Okay. I could be wrong. But... there's already people that are lobbying with Congress that work for these big cable companies. And so it's like, what you're trying to argue.
But shouldn't we fix that?
But they're not going to fix that. That's the problem. So if you're saying
with money.
Get rid of net neutrality, that's the next step to fixing it. No, you just took one little barricade out of their way so they can.
It's only been in place for 2 years.
I know, but that's because, have you seen the way things have changed? Can you believe that there's a time that we live in now where we have to have a data cap on our home internet? Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a data cap on what your internet is that you pay for. So it's like a utility.
So if this goes through...
but that's the whole thing.
It should be a utility.
I mean, it should...
Which means more government regulation is what you're... So that's what you're saying.
If it means that you're not going to have any caps on stuff? Government doesn't cap you from...
Then we should dissolve the 4 or 5 big companies and make them...
that's not going to happen because they're lobbying Congress to protect them in their regions. And so net neutrality isn't going to fix that.
That's what I said. It's a Band-Aid.
But I'm saying by getting rid of it isn't going to fix that either. So that's what I'm saying. At least with net neutrality, there was a way to prevent these companies from coming in and monopolizing everything and saying, well, you like Netflix, well, screw you. We're going to throttle that so you can't hardly watch it. But if you watch, Coxflix... which that sounds dirty, you can stream our videos and it'll be lightning fast because you like Cox Communications.
Trev91 says, FYI, when government or politics is mentioned, I click off. It's not boring because this is something that is potentially going to change the way that you use the internet and the access that you have.
Yeah, it's actually incredibly
important. This is a very important thing that's going on, despite the argument one way or another. What this potentially has the capability of doing is giving companies like Cox and Comcast and all of the internet providers the ability to say, hey, if you want to be able to stream Netflix, you're going to have to pay it for an additional $14 a month to be able to get the speeds for that package.
If you're a semi driving on the highway, you have to pay money to every state you go into in order to help repair those roads, whereas you as an individual driver don't, unless you're on a toll road. What's the difference?
What does that have to do with?
That has everything to do with it.
No, it doesn't.
Someone has to maintain that pipeline or that highway, and people who use it more than others, shouldn't they have to pay more? Why should everyone have to pay the same when some people use it more than others?
You're
saying that the information
pay more
speedway
than you do. I use it more than you do
to have more access. Absolutely.
I pay more so I can have more.
But you don't use more. You just have the ability to use it faster.
I use more internet bandwidth than you do. We've talked about this.
And you pay extra
I pay
for
more.
That. Yeah, of course.
So I don't know.
So
your argument is freaking flawed still.
No, I'm not. We're talking about you're not the only user of the internet. These other businesses, such as Netflix and any of the other businesses that you're talking about, they're getting a free ride for those things for the most part today. They actually have some things already in place that were grandfathered in before net neutrality that allowed certain, like Netflix and Comcast, I think it was, already had an agreement where some of their stuff was already technically being throttled, or they were paying for it not to be throttled. But what I'm saying is there's more people who use the internet than the individual user. So the individual user should, for their bandwidth, should pay what they use, and the big businesses that are providing services over the internet should also pay for it.
Yeah, you don't think Netflix is paying for the bandwidth that they put out? Are you kidding me? They have huge servers with tons of videos on it, and they're paying for that bandwidth. They're paying every time
for it locally. They're paying for it on the localized service. The problem with the internet is that you're crossing. Yeah, no. Yes, they're not paying every single major provider that does the last mile service to your home for
they're not.
bandwidth.
But
they're not because
still
they're not paying for that.
But they're still paying for every time when someone connects to them. They're paying for their own bandwidth, which still goes into it's still funneling into the economy the same way. It doesn't make it, you can't, you're talking about a service. I'm getting so flustered I can't talk. You're trying to compare something to an interstate system where something physically drives on it. This is not that.
Data does.
Data doesn't run down the cable as it goes across it.
Yeah, it does.
No, what is it? It's magical electricity.
That's why there's specific. It is electricity. That's how
I know,
it
but I'm
works.
just saying it's like magical electricity that somehow rolls.
It's bytes, bits of data that go in packets, just like people in a car.
You're saying that every time that the data runs,
amounts of bandwidth or lanes.
Stop yelling.
There's certain amounts of lanes of traffic that those things can go on, and there already is throttling of certain services because email, some of the other slower that don't require higher speeds already are being throttled in the systems. In fact, that was actually isolated out of net neutrality
answer me this,
for
then.
that purpose.
What you're saying is that the data that is exchanged across the cables, or the buried in the ground fiber, or whatever you want to say, that data transferring is actually wearing out the cables, and it'll have to be replaced.
Depends on the cables.
No, but see,
absolutely.
here's
Copper
where
lines
here's where the problem falls through, though. Especially if we're going with this trucker thing, that would be like saying that the trucker is going to have to pay the toll to drive on this specific place, and then he's also going to have to pay an additional toll for having driven on it.
They do. They pay by weight. That's what all those weigh stations are for?
But what you're saying is that you're saying that you should have to pay double.
Are you sure truckers pay by weight when they get weighed? They get weighed to make sure they're not overweight.
And if they are, they have to pay fines and extra fees
but they're
for
not.
that.
They don't have to pay
depending on what they're classified for, they have to pay
they don't
fees
have to
in order to
pay
even have that
state,
license.
Though. They don't pay.
Yeah, they do. That's why those are at the entrances and exits of states.
But they don't pay if they're not
regulation.
overweight. They don't pay if they're not overweight.
Yeah, so and Teddy has another point. He says, I pay for 150 megabytes, yet I don't get 150 megabytes. I should be compensated for not getting what they're saying that they are going to give to me.
That's because you don't pay for 150 megabytes. That's a misnomer. You could pay for 150 megabytes. It will be significantly more expensive to have guaranteed bandwidth. You don't. You're basically paying for the right to be in a lane
Jeremy's
that can go
right
that
about
fast.
this. That's
Sure,
correct.
and I understand that, but it's also something that is a miscommunication that they deliberately are telling you. Yeah, you can get speeds up to this amount, but you're going to end up with not enough to be able to finish your stream that you're in the middle of running, because we're not going to give you the speeds that you see on the sheet that says this is what your level is.
Your whole highway interstate thing is flawed, because you're going to say.
Also, thank you for following Pepsi Bottles.
Hey, Pepsi Bottles, thanks for
Thank
following. If you're trying to say that, okay, so if I'm paying, so Cox or whatever, that's the interstate, right? In your analogy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm paying them to drive on their road, right?
Sure.
That's what you're saying. But I also pay Netflix to have them deliver me content on that road that I pay Cox to drive on.
See, that's wrong.
That's not.
That's wrong. You are paying for access to their service.
Okay, so I'm paying access. But
you're not paying for the amount
So
of
how does
service that
this
you're
fit
getting.
into your analogy? Because I can't think of anything on the interstate that works that way.
Well, of course it's slightly different,
I'm
but
just saying.
still, there
but
there are companies that own different parts of the upstream channel of the internet. And for Netflix to get to your house, it's traveling over minimum 3 different businesses lines, minimum. Because there's last mile, first mile, and then at least a tier 3 in between those. Oftentimes, there could be 5 or even 10, depending on regions of the country or world, things like that. So each one of those have to maintain that service. They have to build out that service to stay with what customers are expecting for speeds. A lot of the argument in the United States on why we have significantly slower bandwidth is because the companies who put in that fiber, that's the backbone of the internet in the United States, don't have the funds to do it.
Well, and we're huge, and a lot of countries are smaller than us.
True.
So they have the infrastructure that they can afford to run. But I guess
and in a lot of those countries, though, it is a utility. So there's definitely an argument to say it should be an e-utility. The problem,
But I mean, if you think
is
about
it's
the utilities that we have that are even comparable would be AM, FM radio, or over-the-air digital TV, and none of that. I mean, that stuff is all like going away.
Sure.
So the fact that
in fact, a lot of those bandwidths are being reutilized for internet.
yeah. So I mean, if it were. The thing I don't understand though is so let's say this is a good thing. Let's pretend they get rid of net neutrality. It's a good thing because then Cox can charge you more or less for their own content depending on what you do. So explain to me why that's a good thing. How is that a good thing for the consumers? Like how? I mean, and maybe your argument is it's not, but who cares because it's freedom.
So not exactly, but. No, there are definitely things that people are going to have to pay more for. It being better for the consumer implies that there's not a pain to the provider. So if the provider has the ability to make more money, it means they have the ability to provide more and better services, which then in turn benefit the consumer. That's how capitalism works.
Sure, but you're telling me that they don't have. See, the part that I don't buy about any of this, and you can go on and give me it's an American freedom and they have the right to do whatever. But the part that I don't buy about it is you got these CEOs of these companies that make ridiculous amounts of money. That it's stupid. There's no reason for them to make that money. Their company is making enough money to improve the infrastructure, but instead they're hoarding it away in these CEOs' pocketbooks for no freaking reason other than to give them perks and bonuses. So there's all these companies that make tons of money. So you're telling me, oh, the poor company, they don't have money to fix the infrastructure. And no, they have the money, but there's some fat cat sitting up there just sitting on all the money, not doing anything with it. I get it. It's their right to do it, whatever. But that does the argument that they don't have the money to do it and we'll make it better if we give them more money is absolute bullcrap. If they want a good company, I mean, so we can try to hope that some company's going to come along, like maybe a Google, and start. And I don't even believe that Google could be a savior of this because they want money too. So it's just this thing of
they're actually one of the companies that are lobbying for net neutrality.
Right, because they understand that consumers don't want to have to pay in all these different ways.
They're doing it because it protects their business growth that they're doing, because they are willing to spend money. And they don't want the other companies to have opportunity to do that.
It's because they don't want the internet
to have opportunity
providers
to come in.
They don't want the internet providers to have to be able to make up what the cost is going to be, because they're going to lose customers.
If you look, a large number of smaller ISPs around the country sent legal briefs and all kinds of different things to the FCC, specifically citing that it's harder for them with net neutrality for their businesses to operate.
Sure,
as a smaller business.
Okay, then answer me this. What's your favorite show you watch with your family? What's the one that you guys really like a lot? Name one.
I can't name one right now. We're not really watching.
Just name one.
There's nothing you like? Like a Hulu. There's a Hulu show.
Sure, a Hulu show. Whatever,
right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna say that if this goes through the way that these companies want it to go through, and let's say we're in a region with Cox, and Cox says they throttle Hulu, like almost to the point of it's unviewable. Like you can't hardly even load anything because they want you to watch their content, and you can't watch any of the like there's stuff you want to watch on Hulu, but you can't. You're pretty much not allowed to. But maybe they have a partnership with Time Warner, and that's only available on whatever West Coast or something like that. So how do you? I mean, for you, your argument would be just like, oh well, that's just the life. I'm not gonna get to watch that. That's just the way it is. Because it's America.
In the current structure of how that product is being provided, you're right.
And you're just like, that's okay with me.
I'm saying that
I don't care.
I'm saying that if there is a way to make money on them getting that resource to you, the provider of that service will find another way.
Yeah, but there are some services.
Hulu's not gonna. You just made a big point for why Hulu isn't gonna run their own fiber across the country to get you Hulu. Of course, they're not going to. So that's what I'm saying. They're not going to find a way because it's already a monopoly. And with net neutrality gone, there's no way to regulate these lobbyists who already have. If you look at the map, we've talked about this. Here's Time Warner. Here's Comcast. Here's Cox. There's no way for them to beat that up. Anyways, they're not going to go back on that. They're not. The lobbyists are putting line in the pocketbooks of congressmen. So why are they going to go back on that? They're not. So then they just start saying, well, you can't. You can only watch it on our content. You got to pay us for this. And this is
that. I mean, these 5 companies, you could compare them to what AT&T was in the 70s. That was broken up.
Yeah.
And it made everything better by dissolving the big companies. That's a much better solution.
Well, absolutely.
To get rid of the monopolies than it is to provide additional regulation.
There hasn't been. I mean, it's been years. That's a great example. But when is the last time?
That is the FCC's job.
When is the last time that's happened? Though they just like keep letting companies merge and get bigger, and so it's not.
Yeah.
So
I mean, in and of itself, that should have been something that's stopped more frequently than it is when all these companies continue to just conglomerate and become more powerful with each and every step.
So read Panda's thing there.
He said, listen, bro, it's simple. The American people paid for the infrastructure. Companies were given monopolies. Local governments were denied the chance to compete. But you're a GD communist for denying me the right to anyone that calls me out for being a fascist, like any good American would.
I will say the first point's wrong. The American people didn't pay for the infrastructure. Almost all of the dark fiber infrastructure is owned by corporate businesses, and they were the ones who laid them. Did they create monopolies actually because of local governments that gave them localized monopolies? So yes, there's a problem with how that was done, but the actual infrastructure is owned by large ISPs. And not just the ones that people are throwing out, Comcast and all of them. They're technically cable providers, which are the larger portion of the highest bandwidth currently available.
You have crappy wireless ones that have antennas out there and stuff.
Well, the actual ISPs have significantly more cable in the ground than the big 4 that people were talking about that are technically just cable companies that provide internet service as part of their revenue stream.
Well,
I'm just saying there's a bigger problem when we focus on the one thing.
Well, but I think it actually
hides the rest of it.
You're being way too much of an idealist, though. The idea that you think that stuff is actually ever going to be fixed in the current climate and the current way things operate in Washington, they're not. So the idea that you think, well, good that net neutrality is not getting
it's
through
often
because
that things get harder before they get better, because the consumer doesn't know 90% or more of what they're even paying for. They don't understand the different layers that are involved for the internet to work. People think the internet's a thing. It's not. It's a cooperation of many, many, many businesses and things.
Sure. I mean, I think people have a loose idea of what that is.
But at the same time,
and there is alternate internets technically
for
too.
it being something that is made up of all of these different companies and all these different people that have combined to allow us to be able to access the stuff that we have, to then allow the people that provide the gateway of the access, such as the cable companies, to then say, hey, we are going to just charge you more money since we're the ones that are like the gateway here for you. We want to charge you more money to get through this gate than we did before, just because we can. Not because they should. Not because...
But it's less of a gate because it's crossing their land, if you will.
But you just said the internet is not a thing that anyone can hold on to. So why should a company that is strictly set up to be the gateway to that thing that no one owns, why should that be something that they can go ahead and say, we're going to actually charge you way more for this thing because of the way that this is structured, and then we're going to... So essentially what you're going to have is you're going to have to pay an extra fee if you want to be able to stream stuff like Netflix. You're going to have to pay an extra fee for being able to stream stuff like Twitch.
So
you're going to have to pay an extra fee for streaming stuff like downloading games and game updates.
You're arguing for something different, though. You're technically arguing for utilitizing the
That's what it should be,
which is a completely different argument than net neutrality. With net neutrality, that will never happen.
How?
Because there's no incentive for localized governments to change.
You mean there's no money that's in it for someone to pocket?
Because localized governments are making like our city is making money because Cox is the only cable provider in this city, because they have an agreement with them to not allow competition, and then they get money as part of every single person's service that comes into that business. So Cox has to pay the government, the localized government, in order to keep that monopoly. So they actually get that.
Which goes against everything that's supposed to happen here with monopolizing.
In Nebraska, there was a company called Allo, which unfortunately they got bought out recently, but that what they were doing was exactly what you're talking about, which was utilizing the last mile ISP for numerous small municipalities. And so the municipality would pay a couple $100,000, $2 million, depending on the size of their municipality, and turn internet service into a utility for that entire city. So that had been happening, but now that and there's others around the country that do that, or that have been doing that. So there is a movement to move there, but the big cities, it will never happen if net neutrality stays in place.
But you're saying that because net neutrality is... You're arguing that net neutrality is then protecting the ISPs.
It absolutely is.
Okay, so if that's the case that you're arguing, then why are they funding to get rid of net neutrality?
Because they can make more money.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So then why this argument makes no sense then. You're saying they don't want net neutrality, but they do want net neutrality because net neutrality keeps them
No, I'm
safe.
not saying they do or don't want it. I'm saying as a consumer, I don't want it because
you like as to pay more money.
As it becomes more painful for consumers, that's when consumers act. And they're going to act through voting for local government who will change the contracts with those businesses. They will vote for people who will hear their voice. But they won't do that when they don't know that's what they need to do to make the change.
So here's really what the bottom line is. If it is something that would prevent it from becoming a utility, then it should be in place until the government says, okay, we have no other reason, or until it is decided that it should be a utility, and then remove it for that reason. But to remove it for no other reason than to allow the ISPs to do whatever they want, is just it's silly, and it's crooked. That's what it feels like, because
in the same token, Trump won, and he had this in his, in one of the things he said he was going to try to do, was to get rid of Obama instituting net neutrality.
Good for him. He's got one thing down. He's got one of his things.
Technically, it was voted to have this change because that was part of his platform.
Yeah, but he didn't have any to do with it.
Well, I know, but that's just because people are morons. So.
Well, people are morons, but again, that's because they're uneducated.
No, he's saying that's what people. That was his platform that they voted for, so they voted for it.
So we should have known this was going to happen. But I'm saying that's the argument, right? People are stupid, but they're stupid because it doesn't hurt them to know better.
Yeah, no, I won't argue with that. I think. I mean, we've gone on a tangent here, and I don't want to go much longer about this, but I think that the idea, what?
Irrelevant native says, worried about net neutrality? Take some heroin. Boom! Now you don't care at all.
Oh, that's because somehow they started talking about heroin in there and legal drugs, and the chat went all over the place.
Those are monopolies too, guys. So.
I just want to know what happened to the idea that there wasn't supposed to be monopolies here. There's supposed to be the ability to not have that. Well, that's supposed to be part of the way that this
I think
government
too, like
is
the
set
idea
up.
of the internet as a utility is a great utopian. In theory, it would be great, right? Like, we just. It's like our radio. We just turn it on and we get radio.
It's more like the electricity to your house, right? Well, you pay whatever that company says you have to pay because they're the only ones who can feed you that service. But the government's protecting you because
you have
they're
to
regulating
have it. It is a basic. It is a basic human right. Yeah. And in this day and age, I mean, as ridiculous as it may sound, especially to people from the past, the way that the world has changed.
Yeah, if you don't have the internet you can't function
almost
in this society.
An essential thing that is needed.
Almost, I would argue it's practical unless you're
in America,
unless you're like a self-made person who's like off on your own and you can.
I mean, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I think it's almost. I was trying to back off of the statement, but it is something that should be a basic human right, the same way that water and utilities and electricity are.
Yeah, I mean, try to get a job or try to get do most things in life without internet. And it's a struggle,
right?
Now when you just to clarify, when you talk about utility, it would be regulated by the government, the local thing. But why not just make it like AM radio though? That's free. It's just there.
I like that.
Oh, it's free to you as the
but
consumer.
It is a little crackly.
Yeah.
It is a little crackly though.
I'm just paying it in my taxes. It's cool.
And from listening to advertisements.
Yeah, it's cool.
So sure, there actually have been ISPs who have built on. No, I'm serious.
No, I know.
They've existed.
Well, because
they're out there now.
They survive by advertising.
Yeah, and guess what? The service is exactly what you would expect AM radio to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just good enough.
Yeah,
but I mean, this is and Trev is trying to move us away from this with bringing up hot tips or game fails, which that is the loop.
That's the loop.
But he said I'm trying to change the subjects. The fact is though, this is something that very well could change how even our show is available to people, because if you're not willing to pay, if it does come down to what can happen with this.
Let me explain to it. Let me try to explain it as clearly as I can. Give me just 2 minutes at most to explain this clearly. What net neutrality, with it gone, and without living in Jeremy's utopian world where we kill all the ISPs and we get that magic fairy tale that he wants to believe in, which I would love, but I still think it's a fairy tale because I don't. This
is the only thing that happens.
But I guarantee it is, at least for years and years and years and years. If this happens, this is the only thing. There's no way that it's going to. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to have ISPs partnering with big business. It kills independent internet. You want your own website for your local business? Screw you. It's over. You want to have your own live thing like we do independently? Screw you. It's over. You want to do anything and put it out there on your own? Screw you. It's over. The only thing you get is you get Yahoo and you get Google and you get all the big names that have the money to pay the ISP. You get Ask Jeeves. That's what you get. You want Reddit? Screw you. You want anything else that's maybe just like a little pocket of the internet that you found that you enjoy, a small community,
Facebook.
You'll get those. They have the money to be on there.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're right.
You want anything independent and small? Screw you. It's over. And that's what net neutrality is gone. And now that this is going through, say if it keeps going that way, you're going to slowly see this beautiful thing that we've built go away, and it's all just going to be pop-up ads and garbage. That's it. And nothing unique, nothing original will ever be able to exist in this environment. And we're all just like sitting on our thumbs going, oh, I don't like it. Oh, it's politics. Oh, I don't know. Plug my ear. Stick my head in the sand. It's all going to go away, and you're all going to sleep on it. And that's fine. But that's why we're talking about it, and that's why it's important. So let's move on. Speaking of monopolies, here we go. Disney buys 20th Century Fox. And there you go. We have the biggest monopoly ever. It's
one of the previous
it beats out what Disney already was.
they got to beat themselves
Disney beat themselves and now have the biggest monopoly because on top of having ESPN, ABC, and Marvel, and Star Wars, and that's Lucasfilm. Now they have Fox. So I mean, really, in this deal, it's scary because they also now have a total of 60% stake in Hulu because they got the 30% stake that 21st Century Fox had in Hulu. So Disney now owns 60% of Hulu.
And that just gets me to my. Oh, go ahead, Nathan. You haven't talked this whole time.
Most of it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nathan, for that. This just gets me back to my point of the original show. If you wanted to see Hugh Jackman and Iron Man make out.
Right.
It can happen now.
Except for the fact that Hugh Jackman's probably not going to reprise that role.
I like to believe that Disney has the power to pay him enough to come back.
Of course they do, because they're the biggest monopoly.
I mean, think about it.
Disney will just lay out $20 bills in a line like candy. Ooh,
but I will say earlier this week there was an article that he was quoted in as far as saying. He said, it's interesting because for the whole 17 years, I kept thinking that would be so great. Like, I would love to see particularly Iron Man and the Hulk and Wolverine together. Every time I saw the Avengers movie, I could just see Wolverine in the middle of all of them, like punching them all on the head. But I was like, oh, well, that's not going to happen. And it was interesting when I first saw the headline. It's just the possibility of it. And who knows what's going to happen, obviously. And this was before today when this came out. But he said, I was like, hang on. But I think, unfortunately, the ship has sailed for me. But for someone else, I would like to see Wolverine in there. And he was pretty adamant when he finished filming Logan that he just does not enjoy doing the routine and having to work out to get himself in shape to play the role.
So he's just like, I'm feeling lazy. I want to eat junk food.
I think it's just he's also getting older too. So it's more of a strain and it's that much more work for him.
But can anyone else truly be Wolverine?
I mean, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough.
I mean,
yeah, but
nobody wants to be the next Wolverine.
Well, nobody. I mean,
nobody.
The thing is, and I think that Disney has already said this years ago, that with their movies, they don't foresee them having to reboot them. Their idea is that they would eventually change out characters, kind of like the James Bond films would, which may be part of the reason that you may see a character disappear for a while if they're no longer going to have that person that was playing them, and then they'll come back with another movie 8 years later or whatnot from that character with somebody new in the role.
Irrelevant Native says, I vote Borat for Wolverine. I would love to see Sacha Baron Cohen as Wolverine. I would watch that movie.
Very nice.
But he did
I have knives.
I doubt he would do it in the Borat voice.
But he did.
Nope, that's all he does.
He would do an exaggerated Canadian voice. So he'll just be like, hey there, bub. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I'm just imagining Borat now in the movie Borat with him actually being Wolverine, and when he fights that one guy,
that's very
in the hotel.
So wait, so it'll be a movie of Borat getting the role of Wolverine.
You mean when he fights his chubby assistant?
Yeah, when he fights his assistant.
Let's
naked
see.
Wolverine
Real
fight.
quick, Teddy, I don't think you're accurate about Comcast owning Disney. Disney owns Disney.
Disney is number
I took
one.
that as him making a joke.
Oh, okay.
Sure
I was going to say
intention.
That's funny. Okay, that's funny then. I was taking it way too literally.
Eventually.
Yeah. What else have they're gonna buy a state
What's the next story?
So what I think is funny is that like all this. Think of all the properties that Fox owns that is now Disney. And I tweeted about this
but it's
earlier
only
today.
20th Century Fox. It's not Fox.
Well, yeah, but they own like all the like the FX and all FXX and Fox TV, and, like,
American
they're gonna all
Horror
turn into
Story.
Disney.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
no.
I just imagine like Disney now owns It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and that is just the strangest, most funniest thought to me. Is that if like I just see like I don't know I don't understand, like I just don't know if Bob Iger has ever watched an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I imagine he would be repulsed by it, but the fact that he owns it now.
Yep,
just astonishing.
And he is going to be sticking around. He was supposed to be stepping down in 2019. He now will be staying on as the CEO through 2021 to see this deal through. So it's nuts. For approximately $52.4 billion in stock is what the deal was worth. So
it's in. I just recently watched the documentary on Hulu about the Dana Carvey show, which is really, really good. So I do recommend watching that if you like documentaries, I guess. But it's really interesting because they get Dana Carvey back to talk about it, and it was like Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert, a lot of these, John Glaser, a lot of these guys that worked on this show, and it was before that anybody knew who they were and anything. But they were talking about how they were making this show right at and the networks just trusted Dana Carvey because of his name, and they didn't, know these crazy. I mean, they were ahead of their times. These sketches, it was a sketch comedy show that they were building. It was, and right around that time is when Disney bought ABC, and that was the channel that they were going to be on, and they were just like, "Oh, we're done. There's no way this show is ever going to succeed because this is not, we are coming on after a Home Improvement on Thursday nights, and this is just not going to work." But I just wonder. I don't think Disney quite has that mentality anymore, but I wonder how, like, it's just crazy. I guess you don't go in and gut 20th Century Fox. You kind of just, you make some changes here and there, but they probably are going to have to let it run.
My guess is they're going to let it run the way that it is. And if nothing else, I mean, the only weird part about this is how does this fit with Disney's squeaky clean image that they try to portray?
They sell off all those smaller brands again.
But when you think about it, I mean, go ahead, Nathan.
Disney has their hands in a lot of pots, including several that you wouldn't think of as the squeaky clean Disney image. Yeah. Like Touchstone Pictures, they've released a lot of stuff through there that you wouldn't think of in that light. Like, I got a couple here.
Go for it.
Ed Wood or Pearl Harbor, Coyote Ugly. None of those are what you would think of as Disney, but Disney technically.
Pearl Harbor feels pretty Disney to me. Have you seen that movie?
No, I actually haven't.
It's very Disney. It's like the worst. They totally because that was what's his face did that. That was
it's a love story.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They totally missed the mark. It's not even about Pearl Harbor. It's about love story, and it's the worst. It is so bad. Like,
okay, how about War Horse or Lincoln?
Disney. Those all sound Disney. They just, I mean, those are pretty good.
They do have How to Get Away with Murder as a TV show on ABC.
Ooh, that's
so maybe
risque.
I don't know.
Maybe they
just.
I'm just saying, Disney technically owning them does not necessarily impact either the image of the company or the content.
I agree, and if they were going to try and change that, like that's the stupidest move in the world because that loses the money that those properties are worth. Yeah. So there was one funny tweet that I saw from last week that Chris Evans had that said, "So who do I talk to about a Cap Human Torch buddy comedy spinoff? I'm thinking Planes, Trains, and Automobiles meets Parent Trap."
I'd watch that.
Because, he played both of those characters. Irrelevant Native also had something that he said here in the chat, and I just lost it because it just moved up. He said Disney should just buy NASA. Sure. And then he said they would probably give NASA a much bigger budget than the government does.
Did you see the tweet from Ryan Reynolds today when this was announced? He has a picture of him at Walt Disney World being escorted out. He's dressed up in his Deadpool garb, and he has a security guard escorting him out of the park. And it says, "Apparently you can't actually blow the Matterhorn."
Oh, that's great. That's great.
So, anyways, having some fun there. But
that's really the only part of this that I am happy about is that Marvel gets a hold of the X-Men properties.
They can say mutant in their movies.
They can say mutant in their movies now.
Yeah.
And they can maybe try and figure out a way to make Fantastic Four actually work on the big screen.
Maybe.
Maybe not, but maybe.
Does this mean they also have to redo Avengers 2 and like say that they are like Magneto's kids now?
I'm sure they'll figure out a way to retcon that and not have to. I mean, in that universe, Quicksilver's dead. So,
True.
And my guess is that they probably will try to incorporate them in a new way instead of trying to just add what's already there in. But who knows? Who knows?
Do you mean when you say they, you mean the X-Men?
Yeah, the X-Men. I'm guessing that they will probably reboot the X-Men.
Okay. Yeah.
Or if they do allow this to continue, it'll stay outside of the main Marvel universe until they've completed whatever they've got already in the works.
I will say, though, in response to what Kuiper said, there has been a lot of back and forth about whether they are Magneto's kids in the comics. Like, sometimes it's been revealed, oh, yeah, they actually were. Oh, no, they actually weren't.
Yeah.
And
So there
on.
could be two different Quicksilvers, that the one is Evan Peters and then the other one is dead Kick-Ass. So.
And even in the Ultimate Universe, it was implied that Wolverine was actually their father because he slept with Magneto's wife one time.
That dirty scoundrel.
Very interesting. Okay, we had like a lot of stories here, but we have gone way over because of neutrality.
They weren't all that good anyway.
Kyle, what I want you to do is I want you to rapid fire, give everybody the headline, and then try to give it like a quick 1-sentence synopsis as we go through, so they understand.
The first one we have here is rumor John Hamm is gunning for Batman role.
Awesome. I want to see
I'm
him
guessing
as John Hamm. That'd be
he's
cool.
just trying to take over for Affleck because it sounds like
I think
he's
he
going to
could
be
do
out
it.
after
He would be a great
Flash.
Bruce Wayne.
Rick and Morty presents comic book anthology, which will begin in 2018. They are going to take some of the side characters and give them some one-shot comics on a quarterly basis. Rick and Morty already has a comic book that is in publication right now, but this will just kind of... the first one is going to be out in March, I believe, and it's going to be The Vindicators, which if you watched the last season is kind of a mockery of Avengers.
Okay,
So,
next.
fake parents offer themselves as stand-ins to meet teachers or lovers. And essentially is it Nathan, was it China?
I believe it was China.
China, yeah.
China.
You can rent people to play a part, whether that is being someone that stands in at your graduation.
They've had rent a boyfriend
so
or
you can rent a
bridesmaid and
boyfriend
stuff like
to
that.
stand in and for a dinner with your boyfriend
Can
and
we
your
please
parents.
rent people for the show?
We don't have the budget
I don't
for that.
know if we have the budget for
I
that.
thought that's what Kuiper's was, but free.
You can also rent a boyfriend to take so that you're not embarrassed, or girlfriend or bridesmaids. Basically you can rent people for all kinds of different things.
Rent people in Japan. Next.
No, China.
China.
Oh, sorry, Jan.
DeLorean driver pulled over for going 88 miles per hour. That one pretty much is
Speaks for
summed up
itself.
there.
Sums it
Yeah,
up.
Good job.
I guess
go fast.
Yeah, don't go fast.
Big fan.
You can't actually travel through time.
He
by
did.
that
He
speed.
did actually think that the police officer was joking with him, and he was
the ticket was
literally
actually 88.
going 88 miles an hour. So
really?
he said when he goes to court, he does plan to show up in a Michael J. Fox costume and have his friends show up in other costumes from the movies.
Great.
And raise some money for Parkinson's.
All right, that's awesome. Actually, good job.
Yeah.
Way to turn a negative into a positive.
Exactly. Last
Faith in
Atlanta
humanity
snow, Six Flags over Georgia cancels fake snowball fight. Six Flags
real
had a fake snowball fight that you could buy a ticket in. They had fake snowballs or real snowballs that they made with fake snow. And it got canceled because snow fell in Georgia.
Welcome to the chat, Doom Turkey XL.
Doom Turkey.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks.
Click that heart if you could.
Click on it.
That'll make us feel very good. Thank you, Kyle, for speeding through those. Let's jump into the 404 Club.
Yeah, and we will.
Does he know he's dumb?
There's something seriously wrong with you.
Wouldn't want to embarrass yourself in front of your fellow perverts.
You don't deserve the air you breathe, buddy.
I think what Kyle... Oh, sorry.
Boy, we're really
Don't talk
bad.
over the bumpers tonight. We would try to speed through this.
I was going to say we will put all those stories up in the notes on the website and on YouTube. So if you
Yeah.
want to go and read those and get all of the details,
Do
they
that
will be
there.
on the website.
All right, here's the winner of last week's poll. You've got, let's see, Headbutt Nuggets or YouTuber got Micro Baked, and the winner with a 60% lead is Headbutt Nuggets.
Nuggets. That
What was that one?
McDonald's worker that got
antlers.
into a fight
Over chicken nuggets?
Over chicken
That's
nuggets,
right.
and he headbutted somebody.
All right, here's your first nomination for the week. This one comes from WCNC. It says, fake Joel Osteen infiltrates real Joel Osteen event. Do we have the video? Or no?
No,
Okay.
it was. Yeah.
was
no.
great.
So what happens when a guy
was.
looks and dresses like Joel Osteen goes to a Joel Osteen Night of Hope? He gets free parking, gets into the venue, and poses with Joel fans, of course. For about 45 minutes, a Los Angeles comedian pretended to be Houston's very own Joel Osteen at an Osteen worship event in California on October 28th. He got all the way from the parking lot to the stage just by pretending to be the popular pastor. Is he or isn't he? Well, that wasn't even a question on their mind when dozens at the Joel Osteen event welcomed, hugged, and even took a selfie with who they thought was Houston pastor Joel Osteen live in person. It wasn't a video that we all wanted to do. It was a video that we had to do, said Mike Klimkowski, impersonator and comedian with the Dabs Dan sketch group. So they must dab a lot.
I just want to mention that if you watch this video, this we'll have a link to it in the notes. But he like goes through security. He goes through like so many different
Shakes a
checkpoints.
bunch of people's hands,
And
hugs them,
yeah, and
blesses their children.
and it's like, and they all just buy it. Yeah, it's pretty.
He's been
great.
doing this, I guess, for a couple of years now, and this is the first time he actually went to one of his events.
Yeah, it says he started acting like him 6 years ago and decided to put it to the test. Everyone just sort of believed that he was Joel. There was hardly any skepticism, director John Parr said, until the team basically got kicked out.
He does look like his son, I think, because he's significantly younger.
Yeah, but seeing how far we can get, and it almost led to us getting arrested, he said. So
there was something about the people that escorted him out actually weren't Joel Osteen.
Yeah, they weren't security. They were just people who were there and said, "You got to get out of here." When
You're
they figured out he
really-
was fake.
You're not really Joel Osteen.
Yeah.
So I have.
they're both liars.
I already took the liberty of naming this one Faux Osteen, but I'll let the chat have a stab at it if you want. Although I think mine's the best. No, I'm just kidding. Next one.
I just like the image of cops walking up to a man and be like, "Sir, you're leading worship without a license. We're going to have to ask you to leave."
This one's a little creepy. Sorry if it's a little dark, but this is from FoxNews.com. I guess I was in charge of the 404s this week. My apologies.
So this was one you brought too.
Yeah, both of these are mine. Ohio man, 22 years old. He brought chicken Alfredo and Sprite to meet a 15-year-old boy who was an undercover cop.
Oh boy, an Ohio student who reportedly prepared.
We got a video of this?
No.
Oh, I hope not.
He reportedly prepared to meet and have sex with an underage boy, was arrested when the boy he was supposed to meet turned out to be an undercover police officer. Albert
Sorry.
Oh, the chat's killing us.
I mean, only because this guy's a terrible human, I'm going to repeat what
He doesn't even look like he's 22.
He goes, "Where's his neck?" And if you look at the picture, you'll see.
Teddy says, wait, they let 15-year-olds be cops. No, the person that they thought was a 15-year-old was
An
cop.
undercover. Yeah, an adult cop.
So, yeah, he was arrested Tuesday
It's also
after-
my new show coming to ABC, Adult Cop.
Adult cop.
It's like Kindergarten Cop, but years later.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I'm the kid that just always said, boys have a penis and girls have a vagina. But now as an adult and a cop.
Nice.
Arnold
Tuesday, he
Schwarzenegger
was
is my
traveling
partner.
to Austintown where he planned to meet the teen, but instead met the cop. The Youngstown State University student allegedly had sexually graphic conversations through an app with the 15-year-old boy.
Who was actually a cop.
Right. It's in quotes. 15-year-old boy.
I just want to make sure that's clear for everybody.
After the suspect reached out on December 5th.
The
Maruna
suspect thought he was 15, so that was known
Right. Maruna,
Right, yeah.
according to investigators, sent naked photos of himself to the
Oh my
team
gosh.
and planned to meet on Tuesday. Maruna reportedly agreed to bring lubricant, a chicken Alfredo dish, and Sprite.
Okay, I'm just glad to know that neither the chicken Alfredo nor the Sprite was going to be the lubricant.
I just
It doesn't specify that those weren't. That wasn't the
I'm
case.
guessing where's his neck wasn't the only question asked.
as dark. Oh, whoa! Badunk-ting. As dark as this story is, it's just that specific detail in the headline that really drew me to this story was that he specifically brought chicken Alfredo and Sprite, not pasta and soda, chicken Alfredo and Sprite. Okay.
The man admitted to investigators that he'd hoped to have sex with the teenage boy, according to WFMJ. When Maruna was arrested, police discovered he was carrying an iPhone, a MacBook, and 3 zip drives, in addition to a bottle of Astroglide lubrication. So there you go, Nathan.
See?
There's your answer. Vaseline lotion, 2 bottles of Sprite, and chicken Alfredo in a Tupperware container. Police reportedly found other sexually graphic conversations on his cell phone, and investigators are working to determine the ages of those involved in those conversations.
No, when it comes to these stories, I always wonder, like, thank goodness they got this guy. Whatever, he's terrible. He's a scumbag. But like, how does like entrapment work? Like, how is it not entrapment? What they did technically, like, is it? I don't know the law on that well enough to know. And I'm not trying to defend this guy in any means, but I'm just curious, like, what the cop did. Does that doesn't classify?
I
as
don't
entrapment?
know.
No idea.
I don't know the legal definition of
I'm
entrapment.
fairly sure they can arrest him either way and charge him, and then he would have to use that as his defense.
Oh, okay. That it was entrapment.
Yeah.
Anyways, you got enough?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think because entrapment is when the officer coerces you into committing the crime.
Oh,
I think
okay.
this basic situation is, yes, they were lying to him, but
he offered.
he was the one who brought up.
Yeah.
He's the one who do stuff.
He's the one that offered the Alfredo.
They were
and the
just
Sprite.
answering questions and talking.
Yes.
Like a 15-year-old boy would.
Yes, and
Yeah.
claiming to be 15 years old.
Yeah.
I can't drive yet.
Without
See-
net neutrality, this wouldn't happen.
I'm busy.
Oh.
I'm busy dabbing.
See, now, if the officer had gone online pretending to be a 15-year-old boy and was like, "Hey, someone who's 22 years old should come over and lubricate me,"
Yeah, that's not.
that would be entrapment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
Okay. So now we know the definition of entrapment.
But apparently, it all doesn't matter if net neutrality goes away. So there you go.
We'll be much more
You've
safe.
learned something here. You don't have to worry about sexual predators on
Let's
the internet
repeal
anymore.
neck neutrality.
Oh boy!
This gentleman has already done that. He's given up his neck for the neutrality.
Yeah.
Of the internet. We just have to call this one neck neutrality now, don't we?
No, it's the name's already picked.
Oh, but I like
got it
neck
from the chat.
neutrality better.
Neck neutrality is definitely a
right.
I'm
more friendly version.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. Necklace, pedo, Fredo.
Okay. I'll allow it.
I still think necklace neutrality is.
Neck neutrality.
Neck neutrality is.
Well, it's a good thing I picked.
Let's get neck neutrality trending on Twitter.
Jolliver put up hashtag neck neutrality.
Spelled with K's.
All right, I'm gonna put neck neutrality in the hashtag. All right.
Hey, Air Force retired guy, thanks for joining us in the chat. It's been a while. Good to see you here. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's put away this creepy dude in prison. Neck neutrality is a terrible thing.
Got a spell check
so-
over his
Well,
shoulder here. Jeremy, I've seen like
Thank
3
you.
or 4.
Last week it was messed up. I get it.
All right, go and vote in this poll. That's
It's almost up.
That's twitter.com/MinuteTub, not YouTube.
Hashtag neck neutrality.
Hashtag neck neutrality. Let's go to our mailbags.
Got something on your mind?
I didn't know where to turn.
Send us an email, message, or a call.
You've got mail.
Alrighty. How's everybody doing?
I'm all right. How
What's
are
wrong,
you?
Jeremy? Do you hear something?
You didn't immediately say, "Well, thanks, you losers." So-
Yeah, we got stuff.
I was busy talking to Kyle. We actually got a voicemail, right?
Yeah, we got a voicemail and we got an email.
Oh, we got an email too.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
an image for that.
We got an email that was sent.
What do we wanna
I
do
need
first?
Where did that go?
That has an image. We should throw.
What do we want to do first? Should we just do the email first?
Yeah.
Hold on, don't put that up there yet.
Yeah, don't put it up yet.
Go. There it is. I got the email. This one comes all the way from our very own Jay Oliver. Thank you for sending an email. We've been begging you and pleading you, please send an email.
You did it.
And Jay Oliver did. He sent this email that says, "This is an email." And you revealed it too soon.
Nope, it's not on the on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
good.
okay.
You scared me.
Kuipers,
You're a smart guy. I'm sorry, Kuipers. I'm sorry I ever doubted you.
we doubted you only because of last night.
This is an email from Jay Oliver. Here it goes. Let's start again. This is an email, and emails are sweet. And sometimes emails contain pictures of feet. So there it is. There's a picture of feet. He sent in this lovely picture of feet and a beautiful poem, I might add.
I've been thinking about
those are
this.
feet.
It sounds like he may have written the poem himself, which I think is very heartfelt and
he
emotional.
wrote us a poem.
What I want to know, are those your feet, and do you enjoy painting your toenails pink?
I know. Yeah, you
Why?
can see that there is a pink toenail picking up.
Oh,
over
you're
there.
asking if those are Jolliver's feet?
Yeah, and if you look at toe 2, 3, or toe 2, 4, and 5
You've
on the
really
lower foot.
investigated these
Yeah, he
toes.
really investigated this.
No, it's easy
how much
to
time
tell.
how much time did you
That's
spend with these
super-
feet?
Can't you see pink?
I can.
I'm
I can.
guessing that if this,
I made it
Nathan
know.
can't see pink.
I'm guessing that if this is somebody that he knows, it would be Mrs. Jolliver.
It does look like Liddy's feet, just from the
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
contour
guessing.
of the
And the
toes,
nail polish.
length.
It's a very nice. It's a very nice.
It's
very
kinda
nice,
creepy, actually.
Very nice email.
He says no and yes to paint, but dark shades.
He does
Dark
like
pink.
He does like pink. All right, and we got a voicemail.
We did.
So I guess let's listen to that.
Oh yeah, brother. This is the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and I'm calling you up, Trev Dog, baby. You can meet me on Star Citizen, brother. Oh yeah. I'm going to stadium for SummerSlam. Hell in a Cell. Remember, the cream always rises to the top. Oh yeah.
Am I the only one that's concerned how many times a dead man is called this show?
we've had almost as many calls from dead men as we have from living men. So
more. I think.
maybe more.
But that was a call out for Trev Dog, who disappeared.
Yeah, he quit
this
the
week.
Tubcast. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
I think what we may have just revealed is that Star Citizen is actually a suicidal cult like Starbot or Hellbop. The comment that went around, and so maybe he's trying to pick.
I thought he
Trevor
was
up
saying that he wanted to challenge him on Star Citizen in a
to Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell.
Oh, okay, maybe that's how it works. I didn't know that they had internet. They must have like Comcast or something in heaven.
No, there's no ISPs. It's
they
free
have
for
net
everyone.
neutrality.
Oh, they have
It's
net
free
neutrality
for
in heaven.
everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I think Tiny Eddie has the solution. It's the time traveler.
Oh, he's been going back and giving our phone number to like people who are living in the past.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Someday, maybe on our call-in show, we'll like have to call him and catch up with the time traveler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. If you do have something that you want to talk about on the show, we are going to do we're pretty set on doing a call-in show.
Probably be the Thursday, the week between
Christmas and New Year's.
Is there an echo in here? Sorry.
Yeah. Is there an echo in here?
I don't know.
Is there an echo
Sorry.
in here?
Just an echo, gentlemen. A little something we have here in Louisiana.
Yeah, we're hoping to do that. Thanks
And,
for. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you've got anything that you want to share with us in between then, you can always leave a message on our answering machine. That's 475 Tub Call. 475 Tub Call.
We do accept digital gifts over the holidays. So just go to Patreon and sign up. Subscribe. And, it's one of those gifts that just keeps giving.
That's true because it's monthly. But you can call us. Yep, like Kyle said, email us, call us, do all that stuff. But now is the point in the show where Jeremy so kindly brought up. You just a segue machine. You're a segue machine. This is the part in the show where we want to thank every single one of you Patreon peeps. These are the people out there who support us at the $10 level or higher. That's the co-producer or higher. You're a partner in crime. We love to be with you and you with us. You can get a lot of access to a lot of different things. you know, even at the hangouts at the but at the dollar level, you get Viaria early, you get Trev Talks early, you get access to our Discord channel. That's just for $1 a month at patreon.com/minute-in-a-tub. You can support us at any other level. There's other things. I think at $10 or more, if you're in this Patreon Coral level where you get your name up on the screen, you can be, what's that? A hangouter. A hangoutie.
Yeah, the $10 level.
$10 level.
And get yourself on the Coral.
Yeah, you get your name up there, and you can be on a hangout, which we're going to do that next Thursday night at 8 p.m.
Yes.
So if you want to hang out with us next
Breaking
Thursday,
news right now,
and you're at the $10 level or higher, you can. We'll get your email address on. We do it through Google Hangouts, so we'll get your email address on Patreon.
If you sign up today, you still have time.
And yeah, we'll meet up and we'll see you and you'll see us, and it'll be a fun time. If you don't want us to see you, you can just talk over audio and we'll have a good little chat.
Or you can wear a mask.
You could wear a mask. That's fine too. But, you know, I think Jolliver's been there for a couple of these hangouts. I think it's been a good time. I think he's enjoyed it. You get to see a little bit of a different side of us, you know.
Give us some unique feedback.
Side.
We'll show you the left side.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sometimes we huddle all around one little webcam, and it's kind of weird. But we do it for you. So that's patreon.com/minute-in-a-tub. 'Tis the season, so yeah, sign up. I think that does it all for what we have now.
If you do have someone that you know that would want to and appreciate some of that stuff, I think you could probably give them a Christmas present.
Gift it.
Can you gift it?
Patreon.
I don't know if you can.
Sure, sign up and then give them your
give
account.
them the logins.
Yeah. Oh, okay, sure. Or just say, hey, I'll pay for that Patreon thing.
Yeah.
That you like.
Buy your friend's Patreon.
Mm-hmm. It's been a really lovely time. I'm so happy to be joined by all of you this evening, but now we have to part, and we will see you next week.
Now it's time.
On Wednesday for The Loop. That's the one about the video games.
Yep.
On Wednesday. And then Thursday, that's the one. That's this one. That's the Tubcast.
Tubcast.
That's Anything Goes.
We do other stuff.
And the Hangout if you're on Patreon.
We sometimes stream video games. We need to get better about that. We haven't been doing it for a while. But
So
like I said,
there's that new PUBG out. Maybe.
Viaria, man. I enjoy what we did this week. I'm looking forward to it again next week.
Yeah, that's right. So next Tuesday,
Yeah.
watch Viaria live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday night. We'll stream it live, and you can all hang out in the chat, and we'll talk about it. And then Loop and Tubcast, and then the next week between Christmas and New Year's, like we said, we're gonna have one show on Thursday night. It's gonna be Kyle and Eric's Christmas call-in show, or you can call and talk to us for a little while, and it'll be a good time. Does that do it?
Sure.
Yep.
Did I forget anything?
I think we're good.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night. Love y'all.